Hey everyone, if you're enjoying my RM audiobooks, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that hype, and maybe check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel even more. Your support means a lot and helps me keep these coming. Now, sit back and enjoy the story.
The Heavenly Demon in the Dungeon. Chapter 1. Arg. A man screamed in agony as his body was brutally mutilated by a black cracked sword. Another man tried to attack the sword wield only to fall from the same colored sword. The sound of the body falling on the ground pierced through the ears of the crowd as a man in black robe stood, his broken sword glimmering red due to the blood that it spilled. Behind the man is the red-cleaved moon shining to those who witness him. Fear gripped to the men and women as they saw this, as the man stood on mountains of corpse. The younger ones churned while the older ones stayed alert. For in front of them is the man who is called the strongest under the heavens. The person who defies the heavens' expectations. The Heavenly Demon. The Heavenly Demon's sword raised again pointed at his oppositions. The whole martial world against one person. Your reign ends here. One of the old men from the opposition said as he threw something towards the Heavenly Demon. Your sect is dead, your family is dead, your kingdom has fallen. The Heavenly Demon saw the thing that the man threw. It was a head of a woman and a child. His grip on his blade tightened after seeing as the old man was about to talk again, his head fell, then his body burst until nothing is left. Come! The Heavenly Demon said as everyone in his vicinity drew their weapons. Driven by grief and hatred, the once a benevolent lord now turned into a true demon. And so the rivers of blood was made. Help! AHH! A young man with white hair and red eyes ran for his life as a bipedal bull ran after him. Why is a minotaur in floor 5? The young man said as he ran for his life. He kept running and running until he face and body his a wall. Oh no! A dead end! The minotaur walked closer with its stone axe ready to cleave the boy's body. Someone! Anyone! Please! Help me! He screamed with all his might but slumped as he felt that it was futile. I'm sorry, goddess! He whispered until he heard a movement. He turned his head upward. There he saw a man in bloody black robe, sword cracked as if it's about to break. The man moved. His movement so controlled it looks like he's being carried by a wave. His sword cried as it met the body of the minotaur. There the young man saw something so beautiful that it mesmerized him. The sword moved into flurry of consecutive attacks that flow and weave in on themselves as if it was a flower. The minotaur fell into pieces and dropped its magic stone. The young man looked at his savior and his breath hitched. He was a man with fair skin, long deep black hair with red tips, and red eyes. His body exudes an aura of something much more terrifying than anything he has encountered. Thank you for saving me. He bowed deeply that his forehead reached the ground. He then felt that the pressure lessened as he looked at the man again. The man looked at the young man with reminiscent and a bittersweet look. His sword sheathed as he walked closer to the boy. The man then made him stand up and cleaned his whole body, then touched his face. You look exactly like her. He smiled as he hugged the boy. The young man confusingly hugged back, then he felt weight on him as the man fell unconscious. The young boy breathed a sigh as he gave the man a grateful smile and carried him out of the dungeon. Belle, how is he? A girl with black hair tied to a ponytail said as she asked the young man named Belle. I don't know, goddess, it seemed that he was very tired. Belle said as he shrugged his shoulder. The man groaned as Belle and his goddess moved to slowly help the man up. Here, drink this. The man took the water and drank it. How are you feeling? She asked. I feel fine. A hoarse voice came out from the man's lips. Thank goodness, and also thank you. She bowed. You saved my one and only familia, we don't know how can we repay you. The just looked at the goddess. It's fine. You've taken care of me when I was unconscious, so I guess we're even. The goddess smiled at this. Hey! I've been wanting to ask, are you a god? The man just looked at her incredulously. No. I'm only a mortal, though my body is the peak of which mortals can go to. The man admit. Anyways, where is this place? It has such dense natural chi that makes those from where I'm from pale. You're in city of Orario. City of Adventurer, the center of the world. The man just tilted his head. Wait, you don't know it? The man nodded. What about familia? Do you know what a familia is? A family. Close enough. Familias are made up of adventurers and supports that is under the lead of a god or goddess. I see, so gods do exist. Of course. She stood proudly. Anyways, what about you? Where did you come from? I actually don't know. I was fighting until my opponents made a seal around me to stop me from getting out, then they created an array to kill me. But it seemed that their plan failed. And I got transferred here. My name Jin Xing, but since it's a bit hard to pronounce, call me Jin. Alright Jin. Oh yeah. By the way Jin, would you like to join my familia? Jin looked at her hand. Jin gave it a bit of a thought as he was reminded what a familia is. If it's alright for me to join you, then please let join. The goddess excitedly jumped about and returned back to him. Great. I'm Hestia, goddess of hearth and hospitality, now please take off your top and lay on the bed on your belly. Okay. Jin said confusingly, but still complied. The goddess did her thing as a paper glowed. What is that? It's your status. Here, have a look. The goddess showed him a paper that only has his name, a number, and a bunch of strange letters. I don't understand anything. Jin said as he took a closer look. Hi. The goddess looked at the paper as she scratched her head. But it's in Koine though? Oh yeah, world transferring stuff. Alright, look here. She showed the paper against while pointing on their words. This is name, that is level, this is skills and magic. STR stands for strength, VIT stands for vitality, Dex stands for dexterity, AGO stands for agility, and MAG stands for magic. Magic? Like sorcery. Sorcery is part of the magic system, yes. Can you read this out? Jin pointed at the skill section. Qi circulation. She looked at it. The power to circulate qi in the body and gather said qi from nature and surrounding. She added. It will help strengthens the meridian, the body, and the spirit. Enhances and purifies qi and its flow. Improves the whole stats by continued usage. Hestia sputters after seeing this. What? She yelled. Even Belle stood there speechless after hearing the skill description. She immediately checked Jin's status and saw the continued increase in his stats. How? What do you mean? Does your world doesn't have the concept of training their qi? No. That's why Orario is the best place for growth. Adventurers grow by overcoming their limits. And that's through fighting? Jin asked as he looked at Belle. Yes. I see. Jin took another look at Belle. Belle saw the red eyes of Jin, which is the same color as Belle's. You really do look like them. He gave melancholic look at Belle as sadness seeped through his mind. He remembered the head that was thrown in front of him. The head of his wife and child. Anger surfaced to his mind, but it was gone as it appeared. Jin's gaze moved back to Hestia and Belle, who the latter has his dagger drawn. It seemed that my anger leaked out. He calmly said. Please forgive me. He bowed his head deeply. Phew, thank God. Hestia breathed a sigh of relief. She then burned the paper she was holding to keep the secrets. As of now there is only the two of you in my familia, but I feel like in the future I will have a lot of children. She happily said. Belle smiled at her cheerfulness. Also welcome to the Hestia familia, Mr. Jin Xing. Belle bowed at Jin. Jin thanked him and pats his head. So what's our goal as a familia? Jin asked. Belle and Hestia just looked at each other. Well. The thing is. We're kind of poor. I see. Belle then taps on Hestia's shoulder. I think it's time for me to go to the dungeon, goddess. Oh, I see. Jin, go with Belle so that you can register for the guild. Jin nodded at Hestia as he stood up and walked towards Belle. In the meantime I'll get ready for my work, be careful you too. Jin, please take care of Belle. Worry not, he is in safe hands. Hestia smiled as she heard this. So this place has other races too, huh? Jin said as he watched a lycanthrope/beast man, but vegetables. And also gods. He added as he saw some gods who are working on stalls and stores or just buying groceries. Does your world have no gods? Well, we have gods, but they mostly not within mortals' reach, they are simply just there watching. So it's like before they descended. Wait, this world also doesn't have gods before? Jin questioned. Yes. Thousands of years ago this world are filled all kinds of monsters, and these monster all came from one place. Belle paused. The dungeon. It birthed many monster plunging the world into darkness, and only then did heroes appear to fight back for humanity. Then after that the gods descended. Babel, that huge building there is made to stop these monsters, but when gods descended it was destroyed by the monsters. Only with the help of the gods did humanity manage to reach the golden age, and that is right now. Then many things happened. There was a familia who went on a great quest to defeat the strongest monster in the surface. They faces the behemoth and the leviathan but failed on stopping the on-ice dragon. It destroyed the familia and the familia disbanded. I see. Jin took everything in. We're here. Belle enthusiastically said. Welcome to the Pantheon, also known as the Guild. Here we register to be an adventurer. Belle opened the door of the guild. There Jin saw a bunch of people lining up on the counters. Some are there to exchange the stones that he found, while some are there to meet up. Seems like a very friendly community you have here. Well, they are very welcoming. Belle said as he led Jin to one of the counter. Miss Ina. Good morning. Belle. How are you? Are you feeling alright? How is that guy? Everything is fine, and actually the guy you're asking this. Mr. Jin Seeing, and he joined the familia today. I want to register him as an adventurer. Alright, give me a second, let me just get the paper needed for it. She turned towards the cabinets behind her and checked the papers needed for registration. Here, write your name here. She pointed at the top of the paper. Jin gave Belle a look. Oh yes. Belle took the pen and wrote Jin Seeing's name. Is he illiterate? Ina asked. No, it's just that he's not used to koine. Is that so? Jin Seeing of the Hestia Familia. Alright, you have been registered, but before diving to the dungeon you should first know what to do and what to expect in the dungeon. Ina said as she asked Jin and Belle to follow her. Is she going to teach us about the dungeon? Jin asked Belle. Yes, I attend this also to know what type of enemies I will face. It helps me plan around them. A great trait to have. I remember some just want to dive in, which most of the time always cost them their lives. Jin reminisced about the brave idiots who tried to attack him. Though some have stopped to think about their actions, most are stubborn and wanted to test his sword. Well, they met a stronger sword than they could imagine. Belle and Jin arrived at one of the rooms. It has 2 couches and a table on the middle. I guess we've arrived. Jin said as he went inside the room. Belle followed behind him as they sat on one of the couches. Sorry I'm late. Ina arrived with a unchanged of books and documents about the dungeon and what beginners need in the dungeon. Well, first is practical experience, like Belle here who was taught the basics on how to use knives and swords. The guild teaches beginners on almost anything from basic first aid to even basic survival skills for quest that takes outside of the walls. Quest? Jin asked. Quest are mostly taken by familia who specializes in either delivery, mail, and maybe even escorting. I see. What type of familia is our familia? Exploration, we can add another specialization, but after we get more members. That's what Goddess told me before. Jin nodded at Belle's explanation. As Ina lowers the paper and books that is about the dungeon and first aid. Learn about this. Only then can I let you go to the dungeon. She said as she handed Jin the books she chose. Types of monsters in the dungeon? Basic first aid? Dungeon floor layout. Jin, read the ones that are on the surface. Miss Ina, I already know how to do these things. The only thing I need is this. He held the dungeon floor's layout scroll and type of monsters in dungeon book. But it will still be dangerous even if you are able to do these dash dot. Miss Ina, sheltering those with ambitions and dreams will only hinder their growth. You need to know when to let them go and when you need to guide them, only then will you see how much potential they actually have. Jin left as Belle followed him, not before bowing thanks to Ina. Does that mean I have potential? Everyone has potential, even the poorest man has the potential to be the richest. Does that you'll teach me? Belle asked with stars in his eyes. Yes. Now go and guide me to the first floor, I'll teach you how to properly use your body. Jin gave an evil smirk which made Belle shivers. The Heavenly Demon in the Dungeon. Chapter 2. Stand up. Jin strictly said to Belle, who is laying on the dungeon floor gasping for air. Jin just stood there waiting for Belle to stand up after defeating an horde of goblins and kobolds. Stand up. Face them again. Jin urged Belle to stand up. The iron blade on Belle's hand moved as he used it as a support for his body. Yes. Bell firmly said as he wobbly stood up. Jin smiled as he saw his determination to improve, his yearning for growth. Good. Now face these things by yourself, use everything you can to survive. Jin said as he took Bell's sword. Fight them. Jin pointed at the goblins and kobolds that spawned. Bell stood there with a dumbfounded expression. But I don't have a weapon. Bell waved his empty hands for Jin to see. Then do your best to survive. Jin smiled as he watched Bell fight with his fist. Bell is laying on the ground gasping for air again. I've seen what you can do. I might need to change your training since your body is already good. What you need is a proper foundation for cultivation of qi. Jin stood next to Bell. Since you're still young, your body's danshan is still vigorous. But it's blocked due to the impurities that your body has taken in. Jin said as he used a golden flame on his finger to heal Bell. Whoa! I feel refreshed for some reason. I've cleaned your danshan and qi veins. Qi veins. Veins that connects the danshan to the other part of the body, which in turn strengthens the body more. That's a lot to take in. So you're saying I have a danshan. All people has a danshan. Some might open their own by accident or on purpose. It's not really dangerous to unlock, but continued usage might lead to death. Why? Qi is the life force of the body, overexertion may lead to loss of vitality. Danshan can at least create a day worth of qi, and using more than you have is dangerous for you. Really? Is there a way to create more than a day worth of qi? Jin smiled. Of course. Through circulation of qi through the danshan. Because of this the danshan will be strengthened and nourished, in turn it will make one live longer. Qi is the life force of the body, overexertion may lead to loss of vitality. Danshan can at least create a day worth of qi, and using more than you have is dangerous for you. Impurities. Jin flatly said. Impurities. Bell tilted his head as he sat up. Yes, as you get older your body will take in impurities. That's why in my world children are taken in as disciples of a sect. Since children's danshan are still pure. That's cool. What about mine? There are impurities on your veins, but on your danshan it's not much. It's actually very easy to clean off, but if it's old people it might be hard for an average cultivator to clean their danshan. But can you clean older people's danshan? Of course I can, I'm not your average cultivator. Jin smirked. But for now we must leave this place and go back. Let us also exchange these stones for money. Jin's jade ring flashed as the magic stones disappeared from the ground. Whoa! That's so cool. I'll make you one after you learn how to use qi. Really? Of course. Jin followed Bell as they walked out of the dungeon, killing any monsters that blocked their way. Jin and Bell arrive at the church around dawn. Bell walked in as Jin surveyed the surroundings looking for a place he can train Bell. Finding an open area, Jin nodded at himself as he saw Bell running towards him. Mr. Jin. Goddess was looking for you, she had some questions. Bell said as stopped. Alright, let go. Jin and Bell walked back to their familiar home. Look at this. Bell Cranal. STRI 80H 160. End I3G 204. Dex H 104G 260. AGI 97H 186. Mag I0. Skills. Magic. Look at that stat increase. What did you do to him? Hestia asked as she pulled Jin's collar downwards. If I remember correctly, a person's status will grow if they fight to their limits. I simply just made Bell fight to his limits. Why would you do that? To help him grow. If you're worried about him dying, then you're looking at the wrong person right now. I can fight a dozen of hordes of those kobolds and goblins, and I'm sure none of my stats will increase, much less protect Bell from them. Don't worry, goddess. I'm in safe hands, and also we've managed to secure a good amount of Valis, so we won't be going to the dungeon tomorrow. Mr. Jin said that he'll be training me on how to feel the qi in my body. Bell excitedly said. Are you sure it won't be dangerous? Worry not, Lady Hestia, qi cultivation is safe as long as one has a guidance of someone who knows what they are doing, and with me here Bell will be in great hands. Just be careful, please. We will. Both Jin and Bell firmly said. Hestia smiled as she gave them a nod. Let's eat dinner. She said as she laid potato puffs on the plates. Alright, since I've cleared you qi veins and dantian, we can start the cultivation of qi. How do we start? Bell excitedly asked as he sat on the ground crossed leg. Close your eyes and feel the flow of the energy on your dantian, follow what I say as I use my qi to guide yours. It might feel a little tingly and warm, but do not panic. Yes. Bell said. Let's start. Jin placed his hand on Bell's back, his hand glowing with green energy. Straighten your back. Bell followed. Breathe in. Bell followed as Jin's qi flowed into Bell's qi veins. Breathe out. Bell followed as the qi circled back into Bell's dantian. Jin continued doing this for hours until the afternoon. We're done. How do you feel? I feel sticky. Bell said as he tried to smell himself only to back away from the stink. Ack. I smell so bad. What happened? The impurities of your body has been taken out, your bones have been strengthened, your skin has been revitalized, hidden injuries has been healed. Basically your body has been remade to its best. Now go bathe yourself. Yes. Bell left the open area and went back to the church. As Jin watched him run. To think that he will achieve body reformation after learning how to circulate qi. Either he's a genius or the bodies of the people here are much better at taking qi than those in my world. Well, I might need to get few more people to teach to know. Jin thought as he also sat and circulated his qi. It's probably the gods. That is making this world produce more natural qi, since gods are nature themselves. Jin concluded in his thought. Not only have I gained my old strength just by taking in a few natural qi, but I'm also getting stronger. Jin looked at the result of his cultivation but suddenly felt shivers on his spine as if someone trying to look into him. Jin turned his gaze on the top of the tallest tower of Orario, the Babel. It seems that someone is targeting my dear son, I mean disciple. I think this will serve as a warning for them to not mess around with what is not theirs. Jin thought as he released his killing intent and aimed it towards the highest level of Babel. Jin stopped for a second to check if it stopped, but he felt it again. Since they didn't heed his warning, he released an even stronger intent towards the top of Babel. The gaze stopped. Jin snorted. Weakling. He said as he continued circulating his qi. On top of the Tower of Babel. A woman with long silver hair, silver eyes gasped for a breath. Her body was fully of cold sweat as her breathing became more haggard and choppy. Goddess? Are you alright? A giant of a man asked, concerned by the woman's well-being. How? How did he see through it? She asked to herself, ignoring the concern the giant man is showing towards her. No. That's impossible. The woman gazed again only to be hit a much stronger killing intent that made her faint on the spot. Goddess. The man held the goddess in his arms as she fainted, not knowing what happened to her. I'm done cleaning myself up, Mr. Jin. Good front, today onwards I will teach you different kinds of arts to see which will fit your body. I will also help you cultivate your qi. After that, during the afternoon we will go to the dungeon for practical test. This is where you will use the technique you have learned. I will change the technique weekly. Which art are you going to teach me? Sword art, I guess, since you already know how to wield a sword. I will teach you the most basic technique that I know of, it's called the Sword of Bloom. Sword of Bloom. Yes, it's only actually taught for the female disciples, but with your current body this martial arts will be great for you. It is also one of the most adaptable martial arts that I know. This will help you learn of the basic stances. Whoa! That's cool. Is the move you did when you killed the Minotaur? Yes. It's one of its forms. This martial arts focuses on swinging on different angles, body movements, thrusting, deflecting and redirecting. Basically it's one of the best arts to learn if you want a strong foundation. Even though it's for females, most of the men in my sect learned this first before learning or creating their own sword art. I want to learn it. Bell firmly said. Don't worry, you need to learn it to be able to understand the other martial arts that I'm going to teach you. Now then, let's get started. Jin gave Bell a wooden sword that came from his jade ring. Repetition is one of the basic of swordsmanship, so you will be repeating the forms until you memorize it. Now follow my lead. Jin said as he drew his sword. Yes. Bell enthusiastically said as he held his wooden sword firmly.